Our topic is optical activity. Optical activity. Optical activity. When a plane polarized light is passing through a crystal like quartz or a sugar solution, when a plane polarized light is passing through a crystal like quartz, then it is observed that the plane of vibration gets rotated during its propagation in the crystal. That means the plane of vibration gets rotation while it is passing through a crystal like optically active substance, crystal like quartz or sugar solution. So, this is what is called as optical activity. The rotation of plane of vibration while passing through optically active substances is called as optical activity. It is observed that in some substances the rotation takes place in clockwise direction. They are called as dextrorotatory or right-handed substances. In some substances, the rotation takes place in anti-clockwise direction. They are called as levorotatory or left-handed substances, materials. The amount of rotation theta is proportional to the length of the crystal or solution, that is the distance traveled by the day in the medium, and also proportional to the concentration. So, if there are number of optically active substances in the path of the ray, then the total rotation is given by theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3. The total rotation is given by theta is equal to theta 1 plus theta 2 plus theta 3. Here, theta 1, theta 2, theta 3 are the respective angle of rotations in different optically active substances. Now, we are going to define specific rotation. Now, let us define specific rotation. Specific rotation S is given by theta by LC. Specific rotation is the amount of rotation per unit concentration and per a length of 1 decimeter and per a length of 1 decimeter. That is, when the ray traverses a distance of 1 decimeter in a solution, optically active solution, whose concentration is 1 gram per cc, then specific rotation S is given by S is equal to theta by LC. So we can define specific rotation as The specific rotation of a substance at a particular temperature for a given wavelength of light may be defined as the rotation produced by 1 decimeter length of solution when the concentration is 1 gram per cc. Specific rotation of a substance at a particular temperature and for a particular wavelength of light is defined as the rotation produced by 1 decimeter length of the solution when the concentration is 1 gram per cc. So, the expression for the angle of rotation is derived by Fresnel by considering the linear vibration is a resultant of two oppositely circular motions. The resultant of two opposite circular motions will produce a linear vibration. Here P1 and P2, one is moving in anti-clockwise direction, other one is moving in clockwise direction. Then their foot of perpendicular gets linear vibration along the diameter. That means the resultant of these two circular vibrations gives a linear vibration. That means a linear vibration is supposed to be the resultant of two circular vibrations. These two are having different velocities when they are passing through optically active substances. So the direction of vibration gets rotation, gets shifted either in clockwise direction or in anti-clockwise direction depending upon the velocity. If P1 is greater, the velocity of P1 is greater than P2, that of P2, then the axis of vibration gets rotation towards left hand side. If the velocity of P1 is greater than that of P1, then the axis gets rotation towards right hand side. So, according to Fresnel, these two components will travel with two different velocities in optically active substances. Then he derived an expression for the angle of rotation theta. Theta is equal to pi x by t into 1 by v2 minus 1 by v1. Pi x by t into 1 by v2 minus 1 by v1. This is from Fresnel's theory. So, the cause for optical rotation is the different velocities of right-handed and left-handed components in optically active substances. The linear vibration is supposed to be the resultant of two circular vibrations on a same circle. If one is clockwise and the other one is anti-clockwise, then the theta of perpendicular executes linear vibration along the diameter. So, the linear vibration can be treated as the resultant of two circular vibrations. These two will travel with different velocities in optically active substance. If both are having the same velocities, then the substance is called as optically inactive substance. No optical rotation takes place in optically inactive substances. But in optically active substance, the axis of vibration gets rotation either in clockwise direction or in anti-clockwise direction, depending upon the velocity value of these particles P1 and P2. So, by using this concept, Lorentz determined the angle of optical rotation by using Lorentz half-shade polarimeter. The Lorentz half-shade polarimeter is as shown in the diagram. As shown in the diagram. With the help of this polarimeter, we can determine the value of theta, by means of which we can estimate the specific rotation of the optically active substance. Specific rotation means rotation per decimeter length of substance which is having 1 gram per cc concentration, which is having 1 gram per cc concentration. The half-shade polarimeter is like this. So, in this, N1 is a Nicol prism. This is acted as a polarizer. Polarizer is one which produces a polarized light. In front of this polarizer, a half shade is placed. Half shade is used to identify or to measure the angle of rotation with high accuracy. And then the substance which is optically active is placed in a tube like this. This substance is nothing but a sugar solution or glucose solution. The light after passing through this tube is allowed to pass through another Nicol prism. Is allowed to pass through another Nicol prism called analyzer. So, this is the experimental arrangement. When the polarized light is allowed to pass through the polarizer, the emitted light is a plain polarized light. When it is passing through an optically active substance, the plane of vibration gets rotation during its passage. In the absence of this tube, the vibration is allowed to pass through the analyzer. There is no change in intensity after emerging from analyzer because the prisms environment are having optic axes parallel to each other. So, the vibration emerging from this N1 is parallel to the axis of the analyzer N2. So, it will emerges from analyzer as it is. But if it is rotated due to optical activity, then the vibration which incident on the axis of the analyzer will not emerge out in total. The only component which is parallel to its axis can only transmitted by the analyzer. So the intensity decreases. The intensity of the emergent light decreases. If you can rotate the analyzer in such a way, the axis is parallel to the vibration which is rotated by the optically active substance. Again, we will get maximum intensity. The rotation made by this analyzer is nothing but theta. The length of the tube is L, and if the concentration is C, then we will get specific rotation of the solution inside the tube is equal to tan theta by LC. Tan theta by LC. Because my definition is in decimeters, that's why in centimeters it is tan theta by LC. If S is known, we can estimate the concentration of the sugar in the solution. We can estimate the concentration of the sugar in the solution by using the known values of S in previous experiments. By observing the value of theta, we can estimate the concentration of sugar in the solution by knowing the specific concentration of the sugar solution. So this is the use of this Lorentz half shade polarimeter. Here half shade is made of two semicircles. Half of the portion, that is one half circle, is made of a quartz substance, quartz crystal, and the other one is made of glass. So, when the vibration incident on the half shade such that the vibration is parallel to the optic axis of the quartz crystal, then it will pass through this entire glass plate uniformly. So, we can observe the glass plate as well as quartz plate with uniform intensity. That means both are having same brightness. We cannot visualize them separately unless if the incident light makes an angle with the axis of the quartz, then only component which is parallel to the axis of the quartz is allowed to pass through it, and the remaining part is glass plate appears as it is with equal same brightness, but quartz appears dull. So if you rotate this quartz, this plate through theta degrees, then the vibration forward to the axis. Now both halves will appear with same brightness. So, with the help of this contrast between these two halves, we can find the correct value of theta. This is the purpose of half shade. This is the purpose of half shade. So, by this, the chapter polarization is completed because rest of the things are not included in our syllabus. So, we deal with the topics which are mentioned in the syllabus only. Other topics are neglected. So, by this, the polarization is over. So far in this paper, for the first meet, the chapters are aberrations, interference, and polarization. So, dear students, if you want to prepare a notes or if you want to understand the concept extensively, you must go through the textbook, Unified Physics, Wave Optics. Number of copies are available in our library. So, try to have a copy with you, and if you can afford, try to have a own textbook. Then only this type of teaching is helpful for you to some extent. So, please have your own textbook. Okay.